Welcome to Downshift. My name is Matt and I'm here with one of the most outrageous vehicles that you can buy today. This is Mercedes' new S63 AMG ePerformance. And the idea of this car is the pinnacle of luxury, but also the pinnacle of performance. And just to give you some context, that notion hasn't even been attempted by BMW or Audi. There is no M7 from BMW. There is no RS8 from Audi. So this kind of stands on its own, and thanks to my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Milwaukee, I'm going to show you everything that you need to know about this incredible machine. We'll start with what's new. We've been around the S-Class before, but not like this. This is the S63 ePerformance, which means it's a plug-in hybrid. And there's not a way to get a non-plug-in hybrid S63, so if you want the big power and the AMG factor, you're gonna have to go with the plug-in hybrid. But to be honest, that shouldn't be a bad thing. You should kind of look forward to it because it has the best of both worlds, as we'll explain later in the video. And then we'll talk about competitors, and as I said at the beginning of the video, there's nothing really that truly competes against this. There's a Panamera Turbo eHybrid, which is probably the closest, but it's more of a fringe competitor than anything else. And again, BMW with their 7 Series isn't bringing a full M variant, and Audi with their S8 is as close as you're going to get to something like this. The S8 is going to be a lot more old school though, a lot less power, and no plug-in hybrid capability, just V8. So, depending on what you want, if you want the pinnacle of luxury and performance, you're going to have to go to AMG. But the centerpiece of any proper AMG lies under the hood, and here it's no different. You still get the familiar 4.0 twin-turbo V8. It's that hot V formation AMG engine that's hand-built in a Falterbach. Shout out to Fabian Ley for an amazing engine here that we get to drive. Here with the plug-in hybrid capability, you're looking at 791, almost 800 horsepower, 688 of that is from the V8. And then you have over 1,000 pound-feet of torque, 1,055 pound-feet. And that's good for 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. And with the plug-in hybrid capability, you're good for an EV mode of about 18 miles. Now the thing is, that's really nice to have around town, but AMG kind of say that they're not so worried about EV range. It's more performance first than economy with the plug-in hybrid, as I guess you would imagine from AMG. But then where does that power go? Well, there's 2 transmissions, kind of. There's the 9-speed multi-clutch transmission for the V8 that we've had and sampled in a few other AMGs over the years. It's very sharp. It's one of the most characterful gearboxes, that 9-speed from AMG. But then there's the eMotor thing, and there's a 2-speed transmission for the eMotor on the rear with an integrated differential. And of course, power is going to all 4 wheels with your 4MATIC Plus system as standard. And what controls those wheels is air suspension, obviously. You also have active anti-roll bars and AMG adaptive dampers. They're a little bit stiff, but they're actually not bad on these terrible roads here in West Allis, Wisconsin. You also have 2.5 degrees of rear steer. It makes corner entry feel really, really sharp and dynamic, especially for how long and large this thing is. You've got a limited slip differential out back and active engine mounts, and we'll talk more about how this all comes together behind the wheel at the end of the video. And we will talk about styling. I apologize for the window sticker on the windshield, but if it weren't for my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Milwaukee, I wouldn't have a go in the S63. So, what does it look like? Well, it's still pretty S-Class in the sense that it's still fairly subtle. I think this is one of the better looking Mercedes that you can get today. And when I say pretty subtle, I mean, yeah, not totally, because you have this enormous Panamericana grille that's finished in like a black chrome. And then over here, you've got your digital light LED headlights, really powerful, really advanced. And then everything is wrapped in carbon fiber or blacked out as you might expect it to be. AMG logo in the grille, and on the hood, as we're seeing with most AMGs, you get the Falterbach logo, which I really, really like. But then around the side, we'll take a look at the wheels. These are kind of center lock, classic AMG designed matte or satin finish black 21-inch wheels with huge red brake calipers peeking out from underneath, and of course wrapped in some pretty aggressive Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. A very good choice. And of course, on your front fender, as you would expect from an AMG, you've got V8 bi-turbo, but here, instead of a 4MATIC Plus designation, it says ePerformance to signify that you, in fact, have that plug-in hybrid capability. You do have carbon fiber wing mirrors, as you might expect, blacked out window treatments, the catch and release sort of door handle that you see from Mercedes these days, and carbon fiber side skirt. Again, part of a package. But the thing I like about the S-Class is they've maintained a very classic and traditional sedan profile shape. And as we get to the rear 3/4 panel, I do like this angle of the car. Again, with some of the shadowing on the rear with the embellished diffuser and the quad exhaust wrapped in carbon fiber, it almost looks pretty subtle. You do have a chrome band that goes all the way across the width of the rear end, and of course some multi-diode LED taillights. You've got your AMG logo on the left, and you see you've got your S63 logo surrounded in red for your ePerformance. But one more thing I want to show you is on the driver's side, this looks like the fuel door, but this is actually where you plug the car in. Overall, I'd say this is one of the more handsome options in the class, certainly better looking than a 7 Series, and in my opinion, better looking than a Panamera. And then on a more practical note, we will check out the trunk. It is of course kick gesture, power close and lock, and it's just a kick in and out, no swipe. But remember earlier when I was saying, oh, you get all this benefit from the plug-in hybrid capacity of the almost 20 miles of electric range. Well, that battery for that hybrid system has to live somewhere, and it lives here in the trunk, which means the floor is pretty raised up. There's also a bit of space being taken up here from the subwoofer, and what it results in is a nice pretty square opening, so it's easy to get stuff in here. It's just not super deep vertically, but it is pretty deep forward and back. And you do have a little ski pass through back here if you so need it, but it's just not quite as big or practical as you'd find in an S-Class that doesn't have the plug-in hybrid capability. And then we'll head into the show, or the back seat. Now, first of all, there's the door card. Look at this. Quilted leather, the entire thing, super padded, lacquered carbon fiber, metallic trimmings, power sunshades for not just the main window, but also this little side window. This is kind of leather wrapped down here. I mean, they did not need to do this, but here it is. AMG metallic kick plate, burmister, and then some gradienting ambient light here. Let's take a look at the seats themselves. This is a really nice, rich kind of Merlot or like Cabernet red. It's not like a bright cherry racing. It's a more refined, more sophisticated. You know what's also sophisticated is these pillows, which are unbelievably soft and squishy. I'm gonna head in because this is the best place to sit in the car if you're not driving. Close the door, of course soft close and all that sort of thing, but now you can kind of really see the ambient light go to work. And what I like what they've done here is they've kind of gradiented. They've extended this little piece so it's not just a hard line of LED, it kind of gradients, gives it a little bit more dramatic flair. You've of course got air vents in your door. You've got air vents down here with 3 little details to control fan speed. You've got a climate zone back here. And of course, the entire thing is wrapped in Alcantara. And this is the upgraded Burmister sound system. And just look at this stuff. You've got your own dedicated sunroof back here. Your grab handles are trimmed in leather. I mean, this is unbelievable. We'll come over here to the center. This folds down. This is the pass-through I was talking about into the rear. But you open this up, wireless charger, and there's another tablet that comes with this car. So if you don't want to control the car through this screen, which we'll talk about in a second, you can control it through this tablet. There's a little button here to kind of raise it up to make it easier to grab, but unbelievably comfortable back here. Of course, you've got things like heated seat, cooled seat. I can send the seat in front of me away, and then I can put myself into Uber lounge mode, and I have this really soft footrest. And then a footrest is going to pop out of the seat in front of me right here. So it's thinking about it up there, it's moving the headrest. This does take a bit, but also let's appreciate the ambient light on the back of the front seats, the lacquered carbon on the back of the front seats. It's raising itself up so it doesn't squish my feet when this starts to raise up. I mean, this is pretty nice. And now you can see this little piece down here has extended for my feet. So now I'm in super chill mode. And this would be a great place to sit while you're driven around with 800 horsepower and over 1,000 pound-feet of torque. But I will put the lounge seat away. And then it retreats faster than it got into the position. But again, this is really, really soft. But now I do want to talk, well, first we're going to talk about this. I'm sorry, we're going to spend so much time in the back here. We've got USB-Cs and HDMIs for each of your screens. So at this point, we probably should talk about the screens, and this is basically everything that you're going to get up there. First is the massage. Look at all these options for massage that you have here. You can also control the seats, you can use your side bolstering, and you can adjust everything to an insane degree. You can adjust your ambient light here. You guys know that I love the multicolor, where is it? Malibu Sunset. And now you can see the purples and the yellows and the pinks and the blues and everything. You also have Mercedes-Me, so you can sign in and get custom stuff sent into your car. But you've got adaptive rear lighting, energizing comfort, so it'll diffuse fragrance and play music and adjust ambient lighting and some of the shades and all of that stuff. You can adjust your Bluetooth, the car volume you can select from back here. Hold on. And then again, you can control your fragrance. I mean, there's so much stuff that you can do here. Auto adjust the rear seats. You've got an air quality watcher. I mean, this is just cool. And all this stuff that you can do here, you're going to have in this little tablet back here as well. I mean, this is an unbelievable degree of customization and luxury in the back seat of this S63. To be honest, the only thing that this is missing is the automatic door function from like the 7 Series that we tested last summer, or a Rolls-Royce. Other than that, absolutely perfect back here. Love the attention to detail and the insane degree of customization that you can get. Oh, totally forgot that I should show you that you can also watch performance functions from the back seat here, which is just unbelievable. I would not want to be in the back seat of this while it's on a racetrack though, I will say that. But unbelievable that you can see, again, everything from the front. You can see back here as well. Now, as we talk about the front seats, it's going to sound a little bit disappointing almost compared to the back seats, but still really beautiful red leathers. I love the embossed Falterbach logo in the headrest. Exquisite quilting, perforations. Of course, these seats are heated, they're cooled. You have massage, and there's some massage settings and presets that work with the heating, so it almost works as like a hot stone massage, you could say. You've also got active bolstering in these seats, and they're outrageously comfortable. Again, everything is controlled on your door here. I can control the passenger side seat from right here with this button, memory, heated steering wheel. I mean, all of the stuff here, of course. And then as we talk about the overall cabin and interior experience, and this is kind of one of the words that I use in all of the Mercedes and AMG videos, is the word intoxicating, just because it truly is. I mean, from the leathers in the seats, the detailing, the color, fantastic. You've got carbon fiber across the entire dash. Really, really cool. Gradiented Malibu sunset. So they've taken the already best ambient light in the game and brought it up a notch. Quilted door cards, leather wrapped all the way down. Burmester speakers that even continue. You can have speakers that spin out of the A-pillar, for Christ's sake. I mean, this is unbelievable stuff. The coolest steering wheel in the game, completely wrapped in Alcantara, but just the degree of like visual drama and intoxication inside the cabin of an AMG is truly unparalleled. The Audi, sure, it's built really well. The BMW, built well, looks nice, but not like this. The Porsche, also not on this level. So I have to give it up to Mercedes. They've delivered again inside the S63. And then in terms of technology, this is something that Mercedes has focused a lot on over the last couple of years. And some people have some feelings about that, but I think in the S-Class, this is always what this car has represented. Pushing the limits, pushing the boundaries of technology and in-car development for decades now. And it kind of continues here. Again, we've got the world's largest bin for a head-up display, but it's incredibly vivid. It gives you loads of information. You have it's not going to come through on camera, I apologize, but you have a 3D instrument cluster with loads of different views. Again, we've got all these different views for your head-up display as well. So you can see some of that. And then you scroll down with these little touch pads. I'm not a huge fan of these touch-sensitive steering wheel things, but overall it works fairly well. But again, you've got all these different themes, full map for your instrument cluster here, assistance, service, all that stuff. And again, you've got your Distronic suite over here, one of the best in the game, definitely probably a top 5 system. We've got, let's start her up. We've got a drive mode dial here. So you can set a setting where it'll start off in electric mode, given the proper battery level, individual battery hold, so this will keep your electric level where it is if you want to just drive on the gas engine. Electric mode, obviously. Comfort mode, sport, sport plus. There is no race mode on an S-Class. I wouldn't expect there to be, but still, you've got all this customization over here. Dynamics, cruise control, gearbox, traction control, sound. I mean, all of the stuff All of the AMG stuff is still here, but we're talking about technology. So let's bring it over here to the center screen. This is kind of the main event here. And it's a lot of typical stuff that we've seen from previous E-classes that we've reviewed and S-classes that we've reviewed. You've got your biometric fingerprint reader for your custom driver profiles. You've got touch-sensitive controls over here for your volume and media. You've got your car controls. You can adjust head-up display, go into car wash mode, raise the air suspension, all of this stuff down here. And there's even more. You've got a tow-away alarm in case your car gets repoed for some reason. You do have a charge screen. This is of course specific to the plug-in hybrid, so it shows you your level of charge, how long it's going to take when you plug this thing in to get to 100%, etc. You've got some of the best 360 cameras in the business, and you continue to have that here. It's a little bit of a shame that the car doesn't completely match our white spec with the carbon fiber and everything, but still, you get the idea. I mean, it's just really, really cool, this rendered view, and then the more traditional 2D cluster view. Really, really well done. You've got your AMG page here for your drive controls, and then we'll go into the home. We've got all these apps in here. So we've got comfort. You can get into your massage settings for your seat. You can adjust your ambient light. Again, like we saw in the back, you've got Malibu Sunset, Miami Rose. You can go into single colors, and of course you've got effects. So if I make the climate hotter, the vents and stuff will go red. And if I make it cooler, they'll go blue, as you can kind of see. Blue pulses, red pulses. Really, really cool. They didn't have to do that sort of thing, but it does go a long way. And of course, your typical media controls. You do have an AMG performance page that keeps an eye on where the car is deploying and recouping electrical energy, where the energy is coming from, whether it's the engine or the battery. You've got drive controls. You can keep an eye on your rear differential and how much power that the electric is sending out. Really, really cool. You've of course got compression and rebound from your shocks and your suspension, steering angle, even with the rear. Again, 2.5 degrees of max rear steer, really, really cool. G meter, telemetry for throttle and brake input. You've got an engine readout, again. Really, really kind of cool. IWC Schaffhausen, if you want to use a lap timer that looks like a watch for some reason. I don't think I would ever use this, but kind of cool. This is an interesting page, more interesting and less sad than in other AMGs. You don't usually want to see the fuel economy you're getting in an AMG, but with a plug-in hybrid, you might want to keep track of this sort of thing. It goes a step further because, of course, you've got track pace. So you can, if we go to Road America and do our test on our Motorplex, then maybe we can keep track of that in here. So really, really robust from a technology perspective. And then just a couple of odds and ends. Typical sun visor, right? But you have two, because sometimes you just need a little bit of extra. Another thing I like is you have ambient light. You guys know that I'm a sucker for ambient light, but you have it even around your seat belt. So if you're getting in the car at night and you can't find your seatbelt, we've got a little ambient light that'll show you exactly where it is. And the last thing that we'll talk about before we go for a bit of a drive is the price. Now, an S63 ePerformance AMG starts at $185,000. Here, with what we have from Mercedes-Benz of Milwaukee, we're testing at about $217,000. But I gotta be honest, this is probably exactly how I would spec my car. I love the white and the way it contrasts with the carbon fiber and the wheels and the red brakes and the dark red interior. This is a tasty and classy spec. So let's get behind the wheel and go for a bit of a drive. Hey guys, real quick, Matt here. Just wanted to say I hope you've been enjoying the video. If you have, would really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it does go a long way in helping us get access to cars sooner and get access to manufacturer engineers so we can get more information on the cars and get you more information so you can make better decisions. So would really appreciate you hitting that subscribe, like, comment, the whole YouTube thing. But with that, let's get back to the video. Foot down in the AMG. Oh my God. It's 1,000 pounds of torque. The brakes are good. Wow. All right, hold on. There's that 9-speed. There's a little bit of that turbo lag. There's a little bit of that, but I can feel some of the electric stuff feeding in as I'm waiting for the turbos to spool up. Look, it's an AMG, 4-liter twin turbo V8. We're pretty familiar with this engine. It's making 688 horsepower thereabouts. But the combined net output from this car is just unreal. 800 horsepower, over 1,000 pound-feet of torque. I mean, just brutally fast. The thing that I miss a little bit in an S63 versus like a C or an E or whatever is there's so much like isolation from the road which is great when you want to do S-Class stuff. But every once in a while you want to do AMG stuff, and you want it to just bellow. And you get some of it, but it does feel a bit like you're removed from the experience just because it's more muted. But still, a very emotional thing to drive. It is unbelievably fast and actually unbelievably sharp for something of this size, of this weight, to be able to, and a lot of it is going to attribute to the rear steer. I hope we can get to this corner up here. Down to third. Second, can we make the yellow? Yeah, really, really aggressive corner entry. And then just unbelievably fast out of a corner. The Pilot Sport 4S tires, great mid-corner. That rear steer of 2.5 degrees makes the corner entry, again, feel really, really sharp. And it makes this feel a class of car smaller. It doesn't remove the idea that it's still a big car. It's still a big, heavy, uber luxury thing. And the ride reflects that. I mean, I'm in Sport Plus here, so the most aggressive, suspension and everything's dialed up to 10. But I'm still more comfortable. I'm more refined. I'm more removed from the outside than a lot of other things. Than a lot like a 5 Series or even an E-Class. Well, the new E-Class is really good. Just unbelievable corner entry. Just so nimble. Just weirdly nimble, to be honest. All right, so it's fast and it's very sporty, as you might expect. So I'm going to flip it back into comfort mode now, and we're going to talk about S-Class stuff, because we've talked about AMG stuff. It's really fast, loud. Not as loud as I'd like it to be, but still really good. The thing about these uber luxury and uber performance cars is when you turn them back into comfort mode and you want it to be an S-Class, can it do it? This is something that BMW struggles with a bit. A lot of their M cars, or even some of the M-Lite cars, are a bit overdamped, a little bit stiff. So does the S-Class find that range? And I would say, yeah. I'm back into comfort mode now. I can feel myself just whirring away in electric mode. The engine will turn on very seamlessly, might I add. Somewhere 3rd to 5th gear, somewhere in there, depending on how much power or how much torque demand you're going to get from the electric motor and the battery, how much charge you got, all that sort of thing. But really, really smoothed back. I'm genuinely impressed. I used to think, well, I still do think that the Audi RS cars balance sport and most importantly dailying from like the S8 or the RS7 or RS6. They almost skew a little bit more daily than performance, but this I think strikes a proper high note on the performance side, and then on the luxury side, it's still an S-Class. It's still wildly comfortable. It's still uber refined. I'm in electric. I can hear the electric motors kind of whirring a little bit, but I don't hear any of the wind. It's incredibly windy today, by the way. It has been for the last 3 days. I don't hear any of that. I don't feel any of the road imperfections. And I'm just super comfortable. I can sit here with my hot stone massage on in these incredible red seats with my really nice embossed headrest. I might steal the pillow from the back, but then I might fall asleep. This does the split personality really well. They've tuned the air suspension incredibly well. The transmission is really smooth. The hybrid system is shockingly good. I mean, you think Toyota, when you think hybrid, you think Toyota, oh, they've got it well done and refined, but the way that this splits, there's no torque kick. You didn't even notice probably that the engine turned on. Auditorily, you maybe hear it, but I don't feel it from like a torque perspective. I don't feel like a little junt when the engine comes on. It's really, really well done. I gotta say, I'm more impressed with this car than I thought I would be. A lot of the reviews online say that the ride is harsh or there's too much road noise coming in. There's a little bit of tire noise, but that's what you're gonna get from Pilot Sport 4S's. But it's an S-Class. It's beautiful inside. It's incredibly well appointed. It looks the best from the outside, 7 Series. It's really good. I gotta be honest, I'm more impressed with this than I thought I would be. I'm just gonna keep rambling if I keep going. So thank you to you for watching. Thank you to Mercedes-Benz of Milwaukee for letting me have a go in your S63 AMG ePerformance. This is a stunner. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.